welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at the world of paranormal podcasts.
So spooky.
A little bit, right. And specifically, we're diving into an episode that you all chose called Close Your Windows, the hauntings lurking in our property.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's from the podcast, True Scary Story.
I love that title.
It really draws you in.
For sure, for sure.
So this sounds right up your alley.
It does sound intriguing, yeah. We've got a lot to unpack here. It aired on September 25th, by the way.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, and it's not just the spooky story itself, but how this episode, Close Your Windows, fits into this larger world of paranormal podcasts. We're talking about like a specific niche within a niche here.
Definitely.
And it's absolutely booming, these paranormal podcasts. Everybody loves them.
Okay, let's unpack this episode description a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
So we've got a mysterious white witch, eerie sounds, ghostly figures, a family curse. I mean, they're not holding back on the classic haunted house tropes, are they?
No. They're laying it on thick, and I kind of like it. It's like they're saying, all right, you want spooky? We got spooky. With a capital S.
Exactly. And you know me, I do love a good ghost story.
Who doesn't? Come on. It's like hardwired into us, you know? Our brains crave that thrill of the unknown, the adrenaline rush of fear, but like in a safe environment.
It's true. It's true. I wouldn't want to actually encounter a ghost.
Me neither.
But hearing about it, that's a different story.
Exactly.
So when they dangle those classic horror elements, you know, the mysterious figures, the creepy sounds, it does something to you. It makes you want to know more.
Totally. It triggers that primal response of, ooh, something's lurking in the shadows. But we're safe on our couches listening to a podcast. Perfect combo.
And it's not just the content, right? It's the language they use in the description, too. They say unexplained phenomena, sinister at play. Even the title, Close Your Windows. It creates this atmosphere of unease, like something is just outside your comfort zone.
100%. It's like they're not just telling you a story, they're setting a mood. Like, close your windows, why? What's going to come through the window? See, it gets you thinking.
Exactly. They're masters of suspense. I've got to give them that.
For sure. And you know what else I love about these paranormal podcasts? They're tapping into a very specific kind of storytelling. Think, classic horror literature.
Like Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, exactly. It's less about like jump scares and gore and more about like psychological tension, you know? Planting these seeds of doubt, making you question what's real and what's imagined, and that lingering feeling, that's what sticks with you long after the episode ends.
It's so true. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've listened to one of these podcasts and then been too scared to turn off the lights.
Right, or like every little creak in the house suddenly becomes like, monster, you know? It's great.
The power of suggestion, right. But this episode isn't just a standalone story, though, is it? It's part of this larger podcast, True Scary Story, which is part of this whole network, Scary FM.
Right, they've got a whole, like, spooky empire going on, and they're clearly onto something because they're already on Season 4, Episode 33.
That's commitment. That's a lot of spooky stories.
It's impressive, and that's where things get really interesting, at least for me, from a business perspective.
I was going to ask you about that because, like, we're talking about a podcast here, right?
Yeah.
It's free to listen to.
Yeah.
So how are they making money? Like, where's the revenue stream?
You always go straight for the business side, don't you? I love it. Well, the episode description mentions scaryplus.com. It's their premium subscription service.
Okay, so like bonus content, ad-free listening, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's a super common strategy in the podcasting world. You offer that extra little something to the diehards, the fans who just can't get enough.
Makes sense. You got to keep those lights on somehow, right?
Exactly. And it's smart, right? They're monetizing a dedicated fan base. Those are the people who are most likely to pay for more.
All right, you've already got them hooked. So we should definitely circle back to the business side of things later because I have a feeling there's a lot to unpack there.
Oh, absolutely.
But first, let's talk about the narrator of this particular episode, Esperanza. We don't know much about her yet, but based on the description, it sounds like she's the one with the first-hand experience of this haunting. She's living it.
Right, and that right there is key for these paranormal podcasts. It's that feeling that you're hearing a real person recounting their real experiences, you know, warts and all.
Totally. It adds this layer of authenticity, even if, there's not any, hard evidence to support the claims.
Exactly. Because let's be real, most of us haven't seen a ghost, right? But when you hear someone else describe their experience, especially if it aligns with your own fears or beliefs...
It makes it feel real.
Totally. And suddenly, we're not so alone in thinking that maybe, just maybe, there's something more out there.
It's like, oh, if it happened to them, it could happen to me.
Exactly. And that's a powerful feeling. A little scary, but also exciting.
I mean, that's what makes these stories so compelling, right? It's that what if factor.
Exactly. And you know what else adds to that feeling of authenticity? The host, Edwin Covarrubias. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I think so. He's got that kind of soothing voice, right? Like he's telling you a bedtime story.
Exactly. He's like the narrator, the guide through this world of spooky tales. And from what I've heard, he's got a pretty big following himself. People trust him, you know? They feel like he's going to steer them right.
He's like the voice of reason in a world gone mad.
Exactly. Or, you know, the voice of spooky in a world that's trying to pretend spooky doesn't exist. Either way, he's a pro at what he does.
I wonder if he believes these stories himself.
Ooh, good question. Maybe we'll find out. But either way, he's good at his job. He knows how to draw a listener in and keep them hooked. And that's an art form in itself.
It makes you wonder, what is it about those personal accounts? What makes them so compelling? I mean, you could easily dismiss them as just stories, right?
Yeah, you could, but there's something about that first-person perspective, you know? Like, you're right there with them, experiencing it through their eyes. It's like, our brains can't quite tell the difference between a story and real life when it's told that way.
Oh, totally. Especially if the storyteller's good.
Yeah.
Like, if they can really paint a picture with their words, make you feel that chill down your spine.
Exactly. It's almost like social proof, but for, like, the paranormal. When you hear someone else describe their experience, especially if it aligns with, like, your own fears or beliefs,
Right.
it kind of validates those feelings, you know? It's like, oh, I'm not the only one who gets freaked out by the dark or whatever it is.
Totally. It's like, oh, other people feel that too. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And that's powerful.
Exactly. It makes you feel less crazy for believing in the bumps in the night, right? Right.
And true scary story isn't just like limiting themselves to English either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this episode is available in a ton of different languages, like
Right.
everything from Russian to Arabic to Korean.
Wow, that's impressive. They're really going global with the spooky.
Right, that's dedication.
It really makes you think about, like, how universal those themes are, you know? Fear, the unknown, those primal instincts. It's all part of the human experience, no matter where you're from or what language you speak.
Exactly. It's like those things transcend cultural boundaries.
Yeah.
Like you hear a ghost story from another country, and even if the details are different, you still get that same shiver down your spine.
It's that shared sense of wonder and terror. I love that.
It also makes you appreciate how smart they're being from, like, a business perspective. Think about it. They're translating this one episode into all these different languages. That's a whole new audience for their podcast.
Oh, for sure. It's a brilliant business move, honestly. They're tapping into this global market for spooky stories, and that market is huge. People love to be scared no matter where they live.
I wonder how much work goes into translating something like that, though. Like, it's not just about the words, right? It's about capturing the tone, the nuances of the story.
Totally. It'd be interesting to know, like, do they have different narrators for each language? Or maybe they adjust the pacing, the sound effects to better suit a particular culture. That's a whole other level of production.
Right. It's like they're not just translating the words, they're translating the whole experience. Makes you appreciate the thought and strategy that goes into creating a successful podcast, even one about ghosts and goblins.
It's a business, my friend, just like anything else in entertainment. And in a world that's totally saturated with content, you gotta find ways to stand out, you know?
Totally. And offer your content in a bunch of different languages. That's a pretty smart way to do it, especially when you're dealing with something as universally appealing as, like, paranormal stories. And speaking of standing out, true scary story, they've got a few other tricks up their sleeve too. Remember how we were talking about their premium service?
ScaryPlus.com.
Yeah, scaryplus.com. They don't just, like, mention it in passing either.
Yeah.
They really play it up in the episode description.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Strike while the iron's hot. You got the listener hooked on the story. Maybe they're feeling a little vulnerable, a little freaked out.
Exactly. And that's when you hit them with the offer.
Exactly. Like, hey, want to delve even deeper into this world? Get exclusive access to even more spooky tales.
It's smart marketing, honestly. Using the episode as its own little promo.
It's like that little next episode button on Netflix, you know? It's like, you're not done yet, there's more to see.
Exactly. It taps into that fear of missing out.
And let's be real, there's something inherently appealing about the idea of exclusive content, you know? Like, you're part of this special club.
100%. It's like, shh, come closer. Let me tell you a secret.
Like, you know something that other people don't. And in the world of paranormal podcasts, man, that's a powerful feeling. Like you've got the inside scoop on the mysteries of the universe. It really makes you think, you know? What is it about these stories? Why are we so drawn to them? I mean, it's not like we're actually out there chasing ghosts ourselves. Right, like most of us are perfectly content to get our spooky fix from the safety of our headphones.
Exactly. But there's something about these stories, that sense of mystery, that keeps us coming back for more.
It's like scratching an itch in your brain, you know, that primal part of us that wants to believe there's something beyond the everyday, something we can't quite explain.
It's like we want to believe in the impossible, but maybe we're not quite ready to face it head on.
Exactly. So we tell stories, listen to podcasts, watch scary movies. It's a way to explore those darker, weirder parts of our imagination without actually putting ourselves in danger.
And when you find a whole community of people who are into that same stuff, it's like you're not alone in those feelings.
It's like finding your people, you know? The ones who get it, who don't think you're weird for believing in ghosts or Bigfoot or whatever your jam is.
Totally. And True Scary Story, they've tapped into that. They've created this whole world, this community around those shared experiences.
And they're doing it really well. They're using all the right tricks, hitting all the right notes.
It's true. From the language they use in their descriptions to the way they structure their episodes, they know how to build suspense, how to keep listeners on the edge of their seats.
It's a well-oiled machine, that's for sure. And they've figured out a way to make it both entertaining and profitable.
Exactly. Which is, let's be honest, the dream for any podcaster out there.
100%. To find something you're passionate about, something that resonates with people, and to be able to make a living from it, that's the sweet spot.
It's a good reminder that even in a world as niche as paranormal podcasts, there's still room for creativity, for innovation, for building something truly special.
Totally. And who knows, maybe True Scary Story will inspire a whole new generation of paranormal podcasters.
Or maybe just a few more sleepless nights.
Hey, a little bit of fear never hurt anyone, right?
Well, maybe just a little. But on that note, we'll leave you to explore the world of True Scary Story for yourselves.
Be sure to check out Close Your Windows, the hauntings lurking in our property. But be warned, you might want to keep those lights on.
And maybe sleep. Until next time.